Hey YouTube, it's Justin, aka Demonic Sweaters. Time for another drum vlog. Now this drum vlog actually looks a little bit better than usual because I actually have a camera on a tripod this time. Usually I'm doing them handheld in the intros. The reason why is because this drum vlog is more of like a project video. What I'm holding here in my hand is this Ludwig accent snare drum that I've had for a while. I think I premiered this thing on another drum vlog episode a while back, probably about a year ago or so. And these snare drums are actually pretty good for the money. You can find them for pretty cheap. This one in particular is a 6.5 by 14 inch wood snare drum with a blue wrap. And this is one of the older ones before they changed the lugs over to the Ludwig classic style looking lugs. These lugs are very thin and kind of vintage looking. I actually kind of like these lugs a lot. They remind me of old Slingerland lugs. You can take a look there. It's still trying to focus on my face. Come on, camera. There we go. But yeah, these things are pretty cool. Now the thing is, though, with this snare drum, I've never been crazy about this blue wrap that's on it. Like, I don't know, it doesn't look terrible, but it's just kind of cheap looking. It's like, you know, just not the greatest looking wrap in the world. And plus, the blue color doesn't really match any of the other drums I have. So I was thinking that maybe I would rewrap this thing and do it in a color that's, you know, just kind of more easily matching to other things, something like a black or something like that, or a black diamond. And as I was looking for drum wraps online, I came across this wrap that's actually made for automobiles, and I'll post some up on the screen right there. This stuff is made for basically interior or exterior of cars. And I actually rewrapped a drum set with chrome automobile wrap before a few years ago, and it came out looking really nice. And the plus side of using the automobile wrap is it's quite a bit cheaper than the wrap you can buy for drums. Now, it is also quite a bit thinner, so it's not nearly as durable. But, you know, this is a very cheap snare drum, or inexpensive snare drum, so I'm not really too worried about it being like the highest quality wrap that I'm going to put on there. But I do think it will look pretty nice once I get it all covered in the new wrap. So what I'm going to have to do is actually strip off all the hardware from this snare first by taking off the heads and then taking the entire thing apart down to the shell itself and basically removing the old wrap and then putting the new wrap on. Now I thought about putting the new wrap over top of the old wrap if it's very thin, which I still may do that. I'm not totally sure yet. First, I'm going to take off all the hardware because I'm going to have to do that either way. Now, one of the other problems with the wrap that's currently on here is right here on the side. You can see it's kind of messed up. And the reason why is at one point, I had this snare drum converted to electronic, and I had a trigger basically double-sided taped to the shell right there to pick up the outside, or to pick up the rim shot. And when I was taking it off, the double-sided tape was so strong, it like bent the shell wrap right there and made it kind of bubble out. So that right there kind of makes me want to peel off all of the wrap and just put the new wrap over top of it. Now the label or the badge is actually going to be gone once I do that too, but these accent badges aren't really the greatest looking things anyways. They're basically just a sticker. I may be able to peel it off and save it. I'm not sure. I guess I could try that, but I'm not too concerned about if I can save that badge or not. I mean, it'd be much cooler if I had one of the Ludwig air vent badges to put on there, but I don't have any of those currently. Maybe in the future I could buy one. Maybe I could find like a used like blue and olive badge that I could put on there or something. But for the time being, we'll see what I can do. So I'm going to strip this thing down, and hopefully by the time I get it all apart, that wrap should be here. It's actually out for delivery right now. It should be showing up here any minute. So hopefully it'll come today, and we'll be able to do this whole project in one day. Anyway, here we go. All right, so I got all the hardware off, and the whole thing is basically stripped down except for the wrap is still on. And, you know, ideally to get the wrap off would be nice if I had a heat gun to try to melt the glue. I don't have a heat gun. Of course, I could buy one, but I don't really want to spend the money. But I do have a really powerful blow dryer, so hopefully this thing will do the trick. The other thing that I wanted to mention is the air vent. I got the air vent out, which was by far the biggest pain in the butt to do. This was just one of the kind that basically just pounds through and then gets folded over on the inside. So I had to drill out the inside and then pound the air vent out. But I think I will be able to get it back in there and reuse it, so that's a good thing. What else? Oh, the wrap did show up. Let's open it up. I didn't open it yet. It's right here. So let's take a look at this stuff. Amazon. I'll post a link to this stuff down below if you want to pick some up for yourself, if you like how this comes out. And let's take a look. Ooh, stinky. All right, that looks pretty good, actually. Let's open it up here a little bit so you guys can see it a little better. Oh, that's surprisingly thick. That's much thicker than the other kind that I tried. So there's the look of it. I think that'll look really nice once it's on there. Very cool. So yeah, that's like much thicker than I thought it would be. That feels, it's not quite as thick as a real drum wrap, but it's close. So that's actually, you know, I'm pretty excited to see how this is going to look. All right, let's go ahead and try to take off the old wrap. And what I'm going to do first is heat up the seam and see if I can peel that back without, hopefully I won't damage the actual wood to the shell. Sometimes I've done this in the past where the glue was so strong that it started to peel off some of the plies of wood on the outside of the drum. So I hope that doesn't happen. Oh, that's hot. Let's see if I can peel this. And it's peeling. All right, so we're getting a good peel in the start here. Actually coming off pretty good so far. Now I like that they didn't put any glue in the middle of the shell. There's only glue on the edges, so that is making this come off pretty easily. And that looks like a surprisingly good wood grain there for this shell. What is that? That looks like it's maybe birch? Or it's probably mahogany, actually. It's probably Asian mahogany. Which, personally, I really love mahogany drums. Older 1960s, 1960s Asian drums, Japanese drums usually use mahogany, Luan mahogany, and they're some of my favorite sounding kits. So let me go ahead and continue doing this. All right, that went surprisingly easy. Much easier than a lot of other shells that I've tried to pull wrap off of. There's a little bit of glue residue I'm going to have to work on getting off of there. But overall, that was shockingly easy. And the wrap came off actually in really good shape. I could probably reuse this if I wanted to, but I don't want to. Let's see if I can get this badge off of here. Let's try to do that. I should have done that first, but actually maybe this is a little better this way. I can bend the... All right, let's heat this up, see what I can do. Coming off. Well, that thing is so thin. That's ridiculously thin. It is coming off, but I don't know if this is going to be any kind of shape, any kind of shape to reuse. We'll see. Yeah, that's just basically a sticker. Well, that is. Very thin stick. That's not going to be... Oh, well. Not going to be able to do that. Too thin, too crappy. But that came off nice and easy. So now I'm going to have to clean off some of this glue. I'm not concerned about like spots like that, but where it's like sticking up, that will look like bubbly in the new wrap. So I want to get that off of there. I'm going to shut the camera off and really work on this thing. Okay, so first I went ahead and trimmed the wrap to the size that I need it to be. Now, I've done this differently in the past, where I actually would put it on first and then trim it, but I always had a hard time getting the edges nice and clean that way, so this time I thought I would try it a little bit differently and actually trim it first. So what I did is I measured the old wrap, which you can see on the floor there, which ended up being 6 inches this way, so there's, you know, basically a 1/4 of an inch on each side, and then 46 inches long total. And so I just, you know, drew some lines on the back of the wrap here and then cut it. Now the cool thing about this wrap is actually, you see these lines here on the wrap. One of these lines actually matched up right at 6 inches. So all I had to do was cut along that dotted line all the way down until my 46-inch mark, which was right there. And then I ended up with a perfect size piece of wrap, which is right here. So now I just have to be really careful putting this thing on to make sure that I don't get it on there crooked. All right, I am actually shocked at how good this thing is looking. So I finished wrapping it, as you can see. I mean, it really looks like a black diamond finish. That is really, really amazing. Now, let me give you a couple of pointers. And the reason why I didn't show you while I was actually doing this is I really wanted to concentrate to make sure I was getting it on there straight and, you know, make sure there are no air bubbles or anything like that. And to do that, I really couldn't be working the camera or worrying about the camera while I was doing it. Of course, I could have just turned it on, but anytime you're trying to do a video at the same time is kind of distracting. So, however, this stuff, the way that this works, this automobile wrap, if you've used it before on a car, then you already know. But what you do is it has like an adhesive back that's not super strong until it's heat activated. So what you do is you peel it off and then you do the wrap, and I basically held it here in my lap so I could really look at it and make sure I was getting it straight along the edge the entire way. And I did a really good job this time. I think this is the best I've ever done it. So I got it straight all the way around, and then I basically put the seam where it was originally with the old wrap right there, and you could hardly even see it. And then what you do is you go around with the heat gun, in my case, my blow dryer, and then you just, you know, heat up everything, the entire surface, and just kind of rub out the bubbles, you know, if they appear. They do appear. This wrap is actually much thinner than I thought it was. What was really thick was actually the backing, the paper backing that was on it. But still, it came out looking really nice, as you can see here. It's actually really cool looking. I'm super stoked. So what I have to do now is basically put all the holes through the wrap for the hardware, and then I'm going to put this thing back together, and I think it's going to look super, super cool. So I'm going to do that next. Here we go. All right, so here's the final result. And I gotta say, this looks way better than I even imagined it would look. It's very smooth. I don't see any bubbles or anything like that on the finish. And it really does kind of look like a black diamond pearl finish. Pretty similar, even though that's not what this is called. This is like some type of carbon fiber composite or something like that. I forget what the name of it was. And it's kind of a matte finish. It's not super glossy, but that's fine with me. This now will, you know, basically I could put this down behind any drum set, and it's not going to stand out. Like that blue, like, because I have a pearl kit, it's a vintage pearl kit, it's a 69, and it's kind of, the finish is called gold grain, so it's like a gold and black finish. And that blue snare looked really weird behind it, even though I have the pearl matching snare too, but sometimes I like to use the snare because it's a little deeper. And having the black now, I could basically plop this down behind any kit, and it's going to look just fine. It'll blend right in, and plus it just looks nice. I mean, it looks really cool. So now what I'm going to do is actually book some studio time for tomorrow. And the next thing you're going to see here is actually me playing this snare. And I'm going to try some different tunings on it. And we'll see how it sounds. You know, it might sound a little bit different now that I changed the wrap. This wrap is much thinner than the original one. So it might have opened up the, you know, the resonance a little bit more on it. So anyway, here we go. All right, so I came up with one other little idea I wanted to do. Now, I was looking on eBay and stuff at Ludwig badges because, like I said, I was unable to salvage the badge on this one. And, I could have bought one for about $27 or something like that. But then I remembered I had some vinyl sticker paper left over. So I just found a ping file online of the Ludwig blue and olive badge. And I'm going to cut that out and I'm going to put it over the air vent. And I think from a distance, you're really not going to be able to tell. And the original one was a sticker anyways, so whatever. I'm not going for like total accuracy here. But let's go ahead and cut this thing out and then I'll put it on there and see how it looks. All right, here we go. There's my new badge. Pretty awesome. Total rewrap cost of this drum was $11, or like $11 and some change. I guess if you counted the sticker paper too, that would be a little bit more, but I already had that laying around. I found the ping file online for free. I just opened it up in GIMP, printed it out. It was the right size, and there we go. Completely rewrapped. Ludwig accent snare with a blue and olive badge. And yeah, I'm really happy with this thing. Yeah, very cool. I think I paid something really cheap for this snare originally anyways. Maybe only like $30 or $40 or something. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was more than that. I can't really remember. It's probably in my old vlog about it. But yeah, totally happy with the result. Alright, that's the end of this drum vlog, everybody. And that's my Ludwig Accent custom snare drum, rewrapped for $11. This thing is really cool. I really like the sound of it. I think all the tunings sound really good. I especially like the really low tuning, which kind of is like what I'm into these days anyways. But it sounds good in all the tunings, basically. For the last test there, I actually switched out the head. I put an Evans G2 on there. There was an Aquarian Studio X on there before, in the beginning of the video, but before the recording I switched out the head. Not that that Studio X sounds bad, it's just that I had this brand new G2 laying around that I hadn't used yet, and so I thought I'd put it on there. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell icon. There's a link down below if you want to pick up some of this wrap for yourself and wrap your own drum. Just a little side note is I actually have like more than enough to do a whole other snare in that one roll. Maybe even like a tom or something like that. So they're actually pretty darn big, and they're only $11, which is really cool. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. See you guys really soon. Later.